All right. Anyway, good evening. I was looking at somebody's comment. I hope everybody is doing well. Before we jump into things here, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. Please be kind. If you cannot do that, then them awesome people in blue with the blue wrenches, they will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. Where we want to have good discussions and go from there. So I just shared a post on my main page on Facebook, and I was like, "Holy crap!" And it was 5 years ago today that there's a picture of Hella Heather. I keep doing that lately. I don't know why. There was a picture of Heather holding Caesar and Pandora as puppies, as little baby puppies, and so they are 5 years old now, which is unbelievable that they're five already. I can't believe those dogs are 5 years old. But well, Hella, she will be 3 in August. So yeah, it goes by really, really fast. So, so I got to tell you guys this. I called home and I talked with it's my tough guy. I called home and talked with my sister today, and so she was telling me yesterday it was snowing at home, and today it was 45 degrees. What's that? Oh, okay. Today was 45 degrees up there. So I had to break it to her. I said, "Yeah, Beck, we're suffering down here in West Virginia. It was 81 and sunny all day long today. It's tough." I said, "But somebody's got to do it, and I am willing to make that sacrifice." Yeah. God, I don't miss New York. Honestly, guys, other than my family and some friends that I have up there, I do not miss the chaos, the nonsense. The weather. The weather is just such a huge factor. It's okay, baby. It's okay. You're a good girl. So, but yes, so that was interesting that they're up there and it's only a high of 45, and I'm down here in a muscle shirt today because it's so freaking nice. So, hey, you know what they say, my friends? When the sun's out, the guns are out. So, anyway, all right. Let's just do this, like, to get this started. New York City mayor wants to start limiting how much meat you are allowed to eat. Are you serious? These people have lost their minds, folks. They have lost their minds. Uh, you know, the amount of control that they want to exert on everyone is absolutely ridiculous. Um, is that a muscle shirt or a wife beater? Now, if it was a wife beater, it would be white. See, it would be like the white. This is a muscle shirt, so not huh? Or I'd be right. If it was a wife beater, I'd have to be married. Number one, and it'd have to be white. And if that was the case, then it would have to it'd have to have like a barbecue stain on the white T-shirt somewhere. Because that's what happens. Guns out, burns out. Take your pick. No, 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 no. We get a we. I usually get. I already had a slight burn on my back earlier this year, and oh, yeah, I was rubbing it in, Vlad. Absolutely, I was rubbing it in. Uh, but yeah, I get a one burn a season, and then everything just starts to get darker and darker. And my arms are already. I mean, you probably can't tell on here, but I've already got some good sun on my arms already. Just being outside, just doing things. It's not like I lay out in the sun because I sure don't do that. But yeah, it was. JJ said, "I'm surprised New York City isn't a ghost town by now." A lot of people. I'm going to tell you what, and there has been for quite a while a mass exodus out of New York. Anybody that can get out is getting out. I know some people. I call it a self-imposed prison because they talk again. They say, I want to get out of here. I can't wait to get out of here, and then they never leave, and they're there forever. And they have, like I said, every excuse why. Oh, family and friends and stuff like that. I'm like this. You know what? I can always go visit my family and my friends when I want to, and that's okay. But I would rather be in an area that's nicer, that I have peace and quiet, that I, am moving forward with what I want to do with my life. And so that's, you know, I recently moved from Maryland to Florida. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. See, now I can honestly tell you guys, and I mean, this is no slam against Florida. Florida's a great place to visit. Been there many, many times. Love it down there. Love being on vacation down there. And but you couldn't give me a house in Florida. It would be the last place that I would want to be when SHTF happens. That's just my personal preference. It's too flat. There's literally one way in and one way out unless you got a boat. And if you got a boat, now you're dealing with pirates and people going after people on smaller boats. And I just nope, not for me. And I want you to think about this. SHTF happens. No more air conditioning. So 110 degrees with 100% humidity. No, thank you. You know what I mean? So Florida is at sea level and will be underwater before it's all over. I love how it amazes me. It just it really amazes me. The planet's shifting all the time. Right now in Africa, I don't know if you guys know this or if you've seen it. There's a continental split happening in Africa right now. So at some point, uh, Africa's going to be completely another 100,000 years probably. It will look totally different on the map than it does now. In 100,000 years, the United States will probably look completely different. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. I mean, where you look at the Nile. Okay, I'll give you an example. Look at the Nile River. The Nile River has shifted so many times, and they have found like old cities where at one time the Nile ran past that area. But it's yeah, get yourself some elevation. Exactly. Um, so the Nile's change, it shifts. Just like at some point the Mississippi will shift. Just like any river out there that you're talking about, it'll shift. Some will dry up. Uh, Climate change. I God, I love that. It used to be. Here's what I find interesting terminology. Terminology is so fun because it used to be global warming. Remember, it was all global warming. Well, then when things didn't happen, I guess, fast enough or warm up fast enough, now we've shifted it to climate change. So we can explain away, severe cold or severe whatever. It just they change everything all the time, which I find interesting. Here's a fact, okay? Here is a fact. We are fleas on the planet. When the planet is tired of us, and Ed, where were you thinking of moving to any other states when moving, or only West Virginia? That's a great question, Fortune Cookie. I'll get to you in just a second on that one. Um, but I was going to just say the planet is always changing. It gets hot, it gets cold. The Great Lakes, the Finger Lakes in New York, that was all under an ice cap at one point. It goes through rotations. So, there will be more. So the planet will warm up, the planet will cool off. The planet will warm up until we have one of these super volcanoes go off. And when one of these super volcanoes go off, we'll be in a volcanic winter. So don't worry, it'll get colder and the ice will be everywhere and it'll be just wonderful. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Okay, so um, when I was thinking of moving to another state, okay, I'll tell you the story of this. I was actually thinking possibly Kentucky. I was thinking Tennessee. And a buddy of mine who is in Washington, D.C., Eric, he owns property in northern West Virginia. And he had said to me, he goes, Ed, man, you should really look at West Virginia first. And I'm like, West Virginia? He's like, dude, you know, cheap taxes, sparsely populated, very mountainous. He goes, I know you like the mountains, at the, like I said, gun friendly state. He said, check that out first. And I said, okay. Did you stay on the east to be close to family? No, that it had no bearing in it. Frontier living, that had no bearing in it at all. I wanted to be out of New York. You know what I mean? That was my goal. Where I went was going to depend on what I found, what I was looking for, and if I found what I was looking for, then I was gonna. That's what I was gonna go for. And so I came down to West Virginia, uh, looked around. We were down here 3 days in one town. I will tell you that story, okay? So I may have mentioned this before, but I'll share it again. So it was 3 days in this one town. I talked to three different real estate agents, and I talked to each one of them on a phone. And I told them what I was looking for. I'm looking for raw land. I'd like a decent amount of land, and that's what I'm looking for. And all three of them said, okay, yep, we'll look into it for you, and we'll get back to you. I am still waiting to hear back from all three of those realtors. Not one of them ever called me back. So after spending 3 days in that town, I said to Heather, I said, all right, we're going to go find something. And she was like, well, how, Dad? How? I said, don't worry, it'll happen. And so we had stopped at this small gas station, and I saw the trade. They have a Trading Post magazine down here. Yeah, that's bad business. Exactly. Exact. Like I said, I guess these people don't want to make any money. Um, so I saw Trading Post magazine. So I pull it off and I'm looking at it, and it has land for sale. So what I did, I called the one place, and actually the place that I ended up buying was the one that I called first. He couldn't meet me until the evening. So I said, okay, that's cool. We can do that. And so we had made plans to meet at like 6 o'clock at night. So there was another piece of property that I went to go look at first. And that property was 78 acres, and it was on a hunting preserve. And they had it was 10,000 acre hunting preserve. And this guy had 70, I think it was 78 acres, wait, like 5 miles in. So they had like a guard shack. So you went by the guard shack, you drove in like 5 miles, and there's nothing. It's all woods, absolutely all woods. And we get to this spot, and so here's the road is here, somebody else's property's here, and that property was above it. So I said, is there a road to that property? And he said, no, no, but I'm sure they'll let you put a road in to get access to that property. And I'm thinking, I'm sure they won't. I'm not letting anybody come in. Hey, Ed, can we put a road through here? No, you can't. You know what I mean? So there was no right of way. The property was landlocked. And I was just like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. So then we had, our appointment to meet with Randy and Diane, the folks that I bought the property off of. And we got down here, and so we met them at their house, and so he says, "Okay, well follow me in." And so we followed him in, and we're on this road, right? And I'm looking at Heather. I said, if I start hearing banjos, we're out of here. It's like joking how we do. And she starts laughing. So we get back in here, and we were in the upper meadow. We actually never even walked down into the lower meadow, because at that point it was a really high and then a steep drop down into the lower meadow. We've actually had probably 4 or 5 feet of that upper meadow to the lower meadow taken off. But so we're standing up there, and I'm looking at this property, and the first thing he says to me, "It's too far back in for you?" And I looked at him and I said, "You don't understand." I go, "This is perfect." I said, "I do not want to be right up on the road." I said, "So I like the fact that sits way back in the woods." And so I'm looking at Heather, and I'm looking around, and she looks at me, and I'll never forget this. She says, "This is the one, isn't it, Dad?" And I looked at her and I went, "Yeah, Heather." I go, "This is the one." And so we, ended up talking to them, came to an agreement, and we came back down a couple months later, and did the closing, and got the property. And it's just, we've been going at it ever since. And but it's just, you know if there's a will, there's a way. if you want something to happen, it can happen. So yeah, it sounds like it was meant to be. Well, I'll tell you another part of this. Okay, how about this? So they had somebody else that was interested in the property, and the guy had the money and was like, "Yeah, I want to buy this property." But he started talking about putting up fences and and all this type of stuff. So they were like, "No, we're not selling to this guy." They didn't like it. They didn't like him. They didn't like the whole deal. So they didn't sell him the property because they didn't like the way he was acting and what he was saying and stuff like that. And so then we come in and then we made the deal happen. And so it was fantastic and really really fortunate. I feel very very blessed to be here. Like I said, decent neighbors, no issues that way. And so and I'm tucked back in the middle of the woods, so it's amazing. So um but yeah, so somebody had asked me, do I hope that Heather ends up coming down here to live? Yes, I do hope Heather comes down here to live at some point. I think we would have to make it much more livable first for a woman to really. I mean, like there's several of the wives or the guys. The only one that's a tough girl, realistically, is Sandy. Sandy don't care. She comes down here, roughs it out like with the rest of us, and she's good. A lot of the wives don't want to rough it, and I totally understand that. I totally understand that. So, Dave and I've been talking, about if we get a shower down here and we get some other things squared away, it would make it not only better for the ladies to want to come down. And I know Mark was wanting to get his cabin squared away before his wife started coming down, and I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. So, I mean, to me, I could care less. I mean, I'll rough it. It doesn't bother me. I've been doing it for for years. But it's just and again, people are going to say what they're going to say, and that's okay. They're not having to, you know, doesn't want to, like Heather said, she goes, I don't want to go back to washing up the way we washed up when we first got the property in New York. And like I said, I get that. Yeah, so tough. Yeah, Sandra is fantastic. No, she has no problem getting in there, getting her hands dirty. She's an awesome person. So very much a huge asset to our group. I will say that. And then we have Cheryl. And I got to tell you guys this story, and I don't know why. And I cannot tell you why. So when I first met Cheryl, for some reason I called her Joyce, and I called her Joyce for months. Okay, now let me be clear on something. I don't know a Joyce. I have no. She doesn't remind me of a Joyce. I thought her name was Joyce, and I kept calling her Joyce, and her name was Cheryl. Cheryl is the one that comes in every Saturday that we're doing our get-togethers, and she's older, and she makes a meal, and that's how she contributes, to the group and stuff like that, which I think is awesome, and it's very, very much appreciated. I will tell you this: when we get done on a Saturday, our butts are pretty kicked, because it's a lot of very labor-intensive stuff right now, until we can get into other projects. So, it is what it is. But we have good ladies there in the group. Uh, Rob's wife's been down, and she was going to come down this month, which and this is funny. But then when the forecast was like rain, she's like, oh no no I don't. And then when Rob's calling her and telling her, hey, yeah, the weather's fantastic, we got great weather. She was like, crap, I should have come down. So, but you never know. You know what I mean? You never know. So, but more of the ladies, I think, as we continue to make progress on stuff and get things more squared away, there'll be more ladies coming down at that point. So, and that's cool. I mean, and I get it. When it was winter, they don't want to be here. They don't want to rough it, and I understand that. So now let's be honest. When shit hits the, oh, I'm sorry, when SHTF happens, um, they'll be here. You know what I mean? They'll be here. So then it's a matter of, that's why we're trying to get things in place and get things squared away here now. So I know that wasn't very family friendly, and I do apologize. I didn't mean to say that. That was a Freudian slip. So, but
This is pre-Rumble.
yeah, this is pre-Rumble, right? Exactly. I'll actually, when I do start making some videos for Rumble, I will keep it clean over there too. I promise you. So, but And that's what I got to do. Yeah, I did a Jason move exactly. Yep. So yeah, I'm sure none of you have ever heard that word before. So I sorry about that. Like I said, slip of the tongue. So, but like I said, we're just we do what we can, and that's it. But yeah, when fecal matter hits the blades, exactly, it's coming. It's coming, folks. I mean, you look at what these lunatics are doing. They are trying to ratchet down more and more and more control. Uh, you know, does that mean the mods can boot me if I'm not careful? I would hope not. So, but well, that's funny. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, I truly believe it's coming. I think it's a matter of time, and all any of us can do in the meantime, uh, you know, yeah, a true SHTF for everyone would be a Yellowstone event. Yes, but it would depend on how bad it was. Yellowstone could go off and it could not be a huge monstrous event, or it could be catastrophic to the world. And like I said again, Yellowstone is not the only one. You know what I mean? Yellowstone is definitely not the only one. So, but like I said, we just my thing is, guys, with whatever time that we have left, whatever time we have left, we need to take care of our business. I actually did, you know, I actually looked into attacks on the electrical grid. Okay, in the last year, there was what they called them 163 attacks on the power grid last year. Now, some of it was what they so previous to that, the highest number was in 2020 when there was 93. So that's quite the jump in attacks. And uh, 80 of those attacks were physical attacks on the power grid and going after transformers and substations and that type of thing. Um, like I said, I have said this, guys, many, many times, and I will say it over and over and over again. Our Achilles heel is the power grid. Okay. Did you hear that this Sunday, the 23rd, huge solar flares and grid down situation? You know what? I know that there's some sunspots facing the Earth now, and they're going to be facing the Earth for about a week. They cannot predict a sun flare, that a sun flare is going to go off any particular day. They can't. There's no way they can predict that. Okay, but what they see that the black spots are facing Earth facing right now, and would be doing so for about a week. And if there was an activity in that time period, then you would definitely have something to be worried about, because again, it's directly facing Earth right at this point with the sunspots they call them. So, yeah, I had not heard anybody saying that on this day we're going to have this. You know, is there a possibility? Of course, there's always that possibility, but you know, it just you do, like I said, take that with a grain of salt. And I don't know who was the one that said that, but like I said again, anything can happen at any time. So, oh, I got to tell you guys this one. You'll love this one. Oh my god. So I had somebody, I think it was an email, and they said, I was trying to find your place on Google Earth, and I was having a hard time finding it. Could you give me a more direct location so I can look for it on Google Earth? No. I'm like, oh yeah, here's my address. Go ahead and look this up. I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, right next to China. That's right. Oh my gosh. I just was like, wow. Wow. Yeah, I don't think I'll be sharing that information. So Sonia said every time I go to the grocery store I pick up more canned goods. Yeah, and that's a smart move, Sonia. I mean, canned goods, dry beans, whatever you can add, I think it is really imperative that we do so at this point in time. It seems like, and I don't think the word hell is a swear word. So my mom used to say, well, that's a swear word. I'm like, no, it's not. I think the powers that be are hell bent on getting us into something. And I really, truly don't get it. I really don't. What do we got? 354 in the chat. We're at 125 on the thumbs up, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It really makes a huge, huge difference for the algorithm. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Yeah, they want to implement. Right now in China, they have a social credit score. They have a social credit score in China. So if you are deemed to be an undesirable, somebody that they don't like, somebody that speaks out, or whatever the case may be, you're on a list and you're restricted of movement and travel and not being able to, you know, to go anywhere. And I think that is insanity, in my opinion. That's insanity. You know, um, my social credit score is minus 12. Yeah, I don't think mine would be really good either. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be really good either. So, but oh, Joe, I see you're on here. There will be a video tomorrow night, 7 o'clock video, updated discussion on the porch. What do you want to call it, Dave? What do you call it? Porch or whatever? Deck porch. There's going to be an updated information on that. So if you want to watch that to see what his plan was and why he wanted to do it the way he wanted to do it, check that out tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow 7 o'clock. That video will be going up then. So just putting it out there for you guys because there was a lot of questions on that. Some people thought that the PVC pipes were the joists, and so he explains everything and what his thought process was and why he was doing what he was doing the way he was doing it. So definitely check that out tomorrow. So yeah. So anyway, again, just a unbelievably gorgeous day here today, and it was really really nice. No complaints on my part at all. I think tomorrow's supposed to be like 86 here, something like that. So. And then Becky's like, "Oh well, they're saying that by next week we're going to be in the 80s up there, in New York." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So, but yeah, I'm like I said, I love it down here. I still have the change of seasons. I know this winter wasn't a typical winter down here. It wasn't a typical winter in New York either, but wasn't bad. Wasn't bad down here, and I'll take that. And so I'm sure at some point we're going to get dumped on. That's going to happen. We'll cross that bridge and we'll deal with that when it happens. That's just kind of how that's going to be. But for right now, it's been good. So looting in Chicago and LA, get out now. I've been saying if you're in a major city, folks, I want you to think about this, okay? If you live on the East Coast, we'll go East Coast first and we'll talk about the West Coast. East Coast first. If you live in New York City, that's a huge target area. You live in Washington, D.C., that's a huge target area. Those two places are definitely. How is the humidity in West Virginia, Ed, and how long did it take to adjust? The humidity is actually worse in New York, to be honest with you. The humidity is way worse in New York. It'll be 85 degrees with 100% humidity. So it can suck up there just as bad as it could suck anywhere else. I'm up in the mountains. I'm at a higher elevation here, so it's going to, it's going to be, cooler up here than down in the valleys. So that's another reason why I picked high elevation. Yeah, is it going to be colder in the winter? Sure, but again, not like New York. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, if you're in one of those cities, you're in Baltimore, you're in Washington D.C., you're in New York City, any of those places, those are going to be a death trap, guys. I mean, and that's just me being real. They're going to be a high target area. So if there's going to be anything nuclear, that would be one of the places it's going to get hit. And then, if there's a grid down situation and there's a gridlock on the highways, New York City's on an island. I think a lot of people don't realize that it's on an island. So if the grid goes down, and those, the bridges and tunnels are all jammed up and nobody can get out by vehicle, it's not going to be a pleasant experience for anybody. They may get to a point where they're not allowed to leave. That could happen as well. Okay, it really could. And the last place I want to be is some place with 8 million people and not enough food to take care of everybody. That would be like the last place I would want to be. I would figure out ways, if you have to stay because of work or whatever the case may be. I get it. You know what I mean? It's not everybody can just leave, but if you can, I would highly suggest getting out. Highly suggest getting out. Getting yourself in a spot where it's a lot safer, a lot less populous, and you're going to be in a lot. Your chances of survival will go up exponentially. Even if you move, like if you move from like a major city, pick one, right? Rochester, New York. Rochester, New York, and the surrounding areas, like Greece and the surrounding suburbs. It's over 1 million people in that area alone. I wouldn't want to be there. That was why I wanted to be out of that, out of that area. I didn't want to be in suburbia because I think that is almost as dangerous as being in the city. Not quite, but almost. And you better be ready to, if you're bugging out, you better be ready to go at a moment's notice. I would highly, highly recommend, again, have your plans, know what you're going to do, have your maps. Everybody in the family needs to know what the plan is, meet up sites, but yes, Rochester is not right in the city, but Ginna Nuclear Power Plant is on Lake Ontario, yes. And they actually, if you go out to the Webster area, which is closer to Ginna, they have the sirens and stuff all through the town of Webster, and so all those people out there and all those people along the lake, that would be a really bad place to be if there was any kind of issue in there. But yeah, they got the sirens out there and a whole 9 yards. So someone already posted your place and road name on the internet. You know what, Vicky? That's but I'm not gonna sit on here and announce it. You know what I mean? And I can tell you this right now. They may post my place and the name of the road and all that, and that's fine. I can tell you right now, they're not coming here. They're not coming here, Vicky. You know what I mean? This isn't hiding in mom's basement and you're safe and you can say whatever you want. You come here with bad intentions, I can guarantee it. Like I said, I am not a tough guy. I don't pretend to be a tough guy. I'm just who I am. But if you come here with bad intentions is what you're going to get. I will guarantee you that.
Like my brother says, if you get too cocky, you might get cocky all over yourself.
Exactly. Dave just said it. His brother always said, if you get too cocky, you might get cocky all over yourself. And you know, there's yeah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Uh, you know, this is what I truly don't understand. I really truly don't understand this. Let's say SHTF happens. I always said to people, do you think that if people came with bad intentions, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, okay, back the truck up. I'll help you load up my stuff and let you take it. I mean, just the last place that you're the last place that you're going to want to go in a true SHTF situation and think you're going to take anything from them is preppers. And I don't care who they are. I don't care if it's grandma and grandpa, and they've been prepping for whatever amount of time. They most likely have ways to defend themselves, and they're going to be willing to do so. So, unless you don't want to last very long in a true SHTF event, my advice would be stay away from preppers because they're ready. They've been getting ready. They know what they're doing, and we have we're going to have the manpower down here and woman power that this is not really going to be a good place to come with bad intentions. So, but you know, people are going to, like I said, the difference. There's a big difference between New York and here. You know what I mean? The big difference between New York and here. I have 3 acres in New York. I got 25 acres down here. So there's literally one way in and one way out of here. Okay, that's it. So you know, we have a plan for that. Okay, we have a plan for that. So, but you know, like I said, people can talk all the crap they want. They can say all the crap that they want to say. Um, they'll find out. And realistically, it's easy to find out where anybody's at. To be honest with you, like literally, if you want to find trolls, uh, you know, you can find out where anybody is realistically. Unless they're on the dark web and they got their IP address scrambled. Most of them don't. And so it, to me, it's not worth the waste of energy or time. But it's just people are going to say what they want to say. They're going to do what they're going to do, and when it comes down to it, they're going to hide in their houses, and wait for the power to come back on. And by the time they realize that the power's not coming back on, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. So yeah, we're all tracked by Big Brother, anyways. Exactly. You know what I mean? Um, JJ's asking how's the neighbor doing. I did go up and see him the other day, and gave him my condolences. And it's a hard thing for anybody to go through when you lose a loved one. So he's a mess right now. To be honest with you, they were together almost 40 years, and so I couldn't even begin. And I even said to him, I said, I can't even begin to imagine how you feel, and I wouldn't speculate to say I know how you feel because I never will. you know, and so it's just it's a sad situation, and he's doing the best he can. I asked him if she was going to be buried, um, you know, back here in the cemetery, and he said no, that her wish was to be cremated and to be put in the river. So that's what they're going to do for her. So he's in the process of dealing with the funeral home and all that type of stuff too. And again, I couldn't even imagine having to do that. So, but yeah, not a good situation. But he Billy Ed, I heard that Jerry Lee got put down. Yes, Jerry Lee, which I love Jerry Lee. I thought Jerry Lee was a great dog. Um, he was killing livestock, and once an animal starts to kill livestock, they're never going to stop killing livestock. So unfortunately, um, you know, the owners had to put him down, and not it. That's a. I think what people don't understand, what a difficult decision that is. When you raise an animal and it's your animal, and you care for it and you take care of it, and they had gotten him fixed like a couple of months ago, uh, hoping that it would stop him from his wanderlust, if you will, and he was staying home more. But then again, like I said, he started going after the livestock, and that's never a good thing. Never a good thing.
Gotta feed your pet.
So yeah, but unfortunate thing, But it's, what are you going to do? I couldn't take him because he would know that across the way was home, and so he would keep going back over there all the time. That was one of the things. If I took him, you'd have to keep him locked up all the time. Yeah, that's because he ran loose. You're right, Patty. I mean, I'm not making excuses. I mean, Hella will run off here and there, uh, 5 or 10 minutes, and I'm like call her as soon as I realize she's out of my sight, and she comes back. Um, you know, Jerry Lee was here for 3 days for a get together, that we had. He was here for 3 days. So, what are you going to do? But I just want to say thank you for your project videos. You've inspired me to redo my garden beds. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool, Prep Rebel. Yeah, it's just taking, and I appreciate that. There's going to be a lot going on. There's a lot that needs to happen here, and it's going to take time. It's just going to take time. It's just the way it is, unfortunately. So,
Would you be Joe there?
what do you say?
You be Joe.
What did he say?
Or she, I think.
She? What did they say?
I've taken out a dog for children.
Well, you have to do that too. Yeah. I mean, if you got an animal that's vicious around kids, they got to go. Unfortunately, you can't have that. I'm gonna tell you what, guys. I had My one shepherd that I had when we were living in Charlotte down by the beach, and I love this dog. She was a great family dog. Uh, Dog wasn't right from day one. She went anybody that wasn't the family, she would go after. It was so we had a fenced in backyard, so she was in a controlled area. Uh, but when we moved to Greece, we had a fenced in backyard there too, and that was okay. And we had to go to a parent teachers conference, so we had asked the neighbor to come down. So we had crated because we always crated our dogs then. So we crated them both, so they were both locked up. So we never took her over to the dogs because she wasn't a big fan of dogs anyway. And what happened was Eddie decided that he wanted her to go home, so we let the dogs out. So we had a Rottweiler and we had the German Shepherd. Now the Rottweiler, he was a big wuss, but my German Shepherd was no joke. And this dog, because some stranger was in her house and her kids were there, she bit the woman 3 times. And I had to cover the lady's medical expenses. She did not sue us, thank goodness. But now this dog is going to be a registered biter, right? Because you had to report everything. And so I made the decision. I took her to Lollipop Farm. They would hold her for 3 days, make sure she didn't have rabies, and then they were going to put her down. And I'll never forget that, guys. I'll tell you, I took her there, and I killed my dog because she did her job, realistically. And the guilt that I had because of that was just it was horrific. And and when it got to the kennel and I put her into the cage, that dog looked at me like, why? And it broke my heart. I mean, it broke my heart. It just that one crushed me. So, but yeah, it just you know, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And but sometimes, I could not wait and have her bite somebody else. Maybe the next person's not going to sue me, or maybe they will sue me. You know what I mean? Because especially now that the dog had been registered as a biter. So, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, but anyway, so it's just it's one of those things. I mean. My German Shepherd was killing my grandpa's chickens. A little bit different, Okie Forge. It depends. I mean, I know that Caesar, Pandora, and Hella, they took out 3 of our chickens in New York, but that was because the chickens flew out of the area and went into their area. In natural instinct, they're going to go after and eat those chickens, and that's exactly what they did. The way I stopped that, I made the fence higher up in New York, if you guys remember that, so that chickens couldn't fly out of there anymore, and so that ended that problem. They would look at the chickens, they'd walk around and look at the chickens, but that's natural instinct. They're going to try to kill chickens because chickens are they might be little velociraptors. That's what I call them. They're little velociraptors. They'll eat anything, chickens, but they're like the bottom of the food chain. So it is what it is. So you got to make sure they're safe. With having the dog run around the chicken pen, I never lost a chicken to a predator other than the dogs. So to me, it was a trade-off. Once we took care of the problem, no more chickens got out, no more chickens got killed. So my grandpa's chickens were free range. My grandpa put the dog down. Yeah, well, in that situation, I mean, my chickens were not free range, so it's a little bit different situation. When we get chickens down here, the chickens will not be free range because there's too many predators. So they're going to be in a controlled area where they're going to be safe and that type of thing, and that's the game plan. So land's doing good so far. Thank you very much for asking. But it's coming along. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna take some time, and but we're gonna get there. But what's a dog is for life? What is considered livestock? Free hawk, cows. Jerry Lee was going after cows, calves. You can't have it. You can't have it. So,
Maggie Matthews has been talking to you. She says Jason sent her to say hi.
oh, okay. Hey, man. So Jason sent you over. Very cool. Jason's a good dude. Very, very good dude. He's been down here a few times now. I think three altogether. I know he's been here at least twice, but I think he might be three times now. So yeah, I'm going to tell you what. You see how hella is with me, folks. Okay. Um, that dog would give her life for me, and I know that, and I know that in a second. In a second, she would give her life for me. You know, and I've never, and and we're gonna do egg count here in just a second, guys. I've never had a more loyal dog, ever. I've never had the kind of relationship that I have with this dog. There is a connection between her and I that I can't even begin to describe. I mean, I've had her since she was 6 weeks old, and that dog has been with me literally every day except for maybe 2 weeks, and that was the first time I came down here in April of last year. That was 3 weeks, but and then my sister and my daughter were like, she's lost weight, she's depressed because I was gone. So I just said, well, screw it, I'll start bringing her with me. So, all right, egg count. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. The guesses start now. So what do you guys think? Any early guesses don't count. So give you guys a moment to get your guesses.
People are all over the eight.
Ah, I love green tea. I actually reloaded today on green tea too. I'll tell you that real quick. I was like, I had three left, and as a prepper, that's not a good thing to only have three green teas left. So went to the store today, and I'll let you guys guess. That we'll do that in a second. I'm going to give you the correct answer, and then I'll let you guess how many I got today. So if you had the same exact guess as Ma Bear, 1900, with 8 eggs, and yes for Miss Thickneck. Now, I saw that Robert had to guess in first, and somebody else right below him had to guess right after that, but those didn't count because those were early guesses. Again, you have to wait until I say we start. When I said we start, Ma Bear is the winner, Ma Bear 1900. So, congratulations to Ma Bear. So, 8 eggs today, and yes for Miss Thickneck today. Yes, and you've won absolutely nothing, so congratulations on that. So, very funny. Okay, so I was reloading with green tea today. So I went to Walmart, and they had 36 cans of green tea there at Walmart. So guess how many I bought today?
400.
Yep, all of them.
Really?
All of them. Bought them all 36. That's all they had. If they'd have had 48, I would have bought 48. Um, I've been to Walmart before where there's been like 7 or 8, and that's all they had left. So I grab them. If they got them there, I'm grabbing them because I don't want to go all the time. I don't want to go to the Walmart all the time. So and it's cheaper to buy them at Walmart, and so But yeah, love my green tea. Actually, at Walmart, they're 88 cents a can, but I've actually got them at Walmart for 77 cents a can in the past. So even that's gone up a little bit. But they can't have them higher than 99 cents because actually, right on the can, it says 99 cents. So that's what the company that makes Arizona does. They don't do any money in advertising, and so that's why they can keep it so cheap. But Walmart obviously pays them less for it, and work whatever workout they got to do. But Walmart was selling them. It was 88 cents a can. So not going to complain. Not going to complain. I only see short cans at Walmart. Yeah, I'm always like the bigger cans. I always like the bigger cans. So, but yeah, I like my green tea, and it's actually, believe it or not, it's very healthy for you. I mean, it's only 200 calories for the whole can. So, I'll be drinking this long after the live stream. It's not like I pound this down through the live stream. It'll be still there. Arizona Beverages USA is a producer of many. flavors of iced teas, juice cocktails, and energy drinks based in Woodbury, New York. Ah, okay. So yeah, tall boys. That's right. So yeah, actually, we'll do a comparison. Hold on. Labatt's Blue and green tea, same size. These are, what does this say? Probably got on either one of them. It's the same size. I think it's 24 ounces. Yep, 24 ounces. So it's like two beers in one. Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah. So it's and it's funny because now the beer. So I'm paying set or 88 cents a can for this. Hey Troy, thank you very much for the donation. I very much appreciate that. Uh, the beer I'm actually getting for $1.19 a can. So I am like really super happy about that. You still drink that swell. It's better than that other urine that's out there, and you know which one I'm talking about. Butt Wiper, I think is the name of the company or the beer. Can't stand that. I don't know how people drink it. I really don't.
Hey,
So but anyway, hey, if you want to drink it, knock yourself out. I have a very crass joke about that, but I can't say that on here because it's not very family friendly. So I have told it to my group though, so they did appreciate it. But yeah, uh, right. I don't, and I'm drinking a light beer. I don't know how anybody drinks a light beer. Blah. But anyway, that's just just me. Do what you got to do. To each their own. There's no judgment on my part, right? Not that I just like completely judged everybody that drinks that type of beer. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. My grandmother used to drink Utica Club, and some of you may never heard of Utica Club. Utica Club was awful. It was disgusting. Okay, so when we were kids, uh, we would be like, "Grandma, you got to buy better beer. This beer is like crap." She'd be like, "Yeah, well, the reason I drink that is because I know you little thieves don't like it, and you're drinking all my beer all the time." Oh, too funny. But I can remember as kids what we used to do when we want to go out for a night of partying. You would buy a 6 pack of good beer. So, like, say there was three of us drinking, right? So you get a 6 pack of good beer, and then we'd get like a case of peels, which is one example. Schlitz, Peels, any of those garbage beers that were like super, super cheap.
you used to get Narragansett.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
Oh, you could get it for like $5
Oh,
for a
yeah, it was like
case,
$6
and
a
it came
case.
with a freaking milk.
So, but they were horrible. They were horrible beers. But you drank your first three, or you each drank two good beers, and then by the time you got to the crappy beer, it wasn't so bad then because you already had the other beer. Yeah, Schlitz. That's another one. Oh, so no Mad Dog 2020. No Mad Dog for me. I never did that one.
I did.
We Wild Irish Rose. Now I drank that. I've had that. So, but yeah, it just depended. Let's put it like this: what we could get our hands on when we were young, we drank whatever we get our hands on. But yeah, it just And when I used to actually drink Molson a lot. I used to drink a lot of Molson, but unfortunately, sometimes you get like Molson there'll be a skunky batch, and I ended up getting a skunky batch of Molson one time, and I lost my taste for it, and I couldn't drink it anymore after that. I just couldn't. It was so bad that but yeah, if I'm drinking beer, like I said, I like my Labatt's Blue. I'll drink Heineken. I'll drink Corona. Corona's decent. So there's a few that I will. Yailing is actually pretty decent as well. So there's some good beers out there, but you're paying for it. You know what I mean? You're going to pay for it. So, but anyway, so do you guys have any questions that you would like to ask? More than happy to answer some questions. Hey, Corona with lime? No, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Yeah, I've heard that somebody was saying that there was a Chinese police station in New York City. Um, I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. I have no idea. You know how rumors are. You know what I mean? Are you still doing intermittent fasting? Yes, yes, I am. With being more, is there land available near you? Yep, there is. Absolutely, there is. What do you think about Washington State passing the semi-auto ban? Well, they're idiots. It's against the Second Amendment. They shouldn't be able to do it. So
Get struck down.
it should get struck down. Because it's directly against the Constitution.
Second Amendment.
Or yeah, it's Second Amendment in the Constitution. Well, it's in the Constitution. So, but yeah, these people again, they want you got to understand again, they want complete and total control. Complete and total control. Chinese police station in NYC's been there for over a year. How can they get away with that?
You get free egg rolls when you make a report.
Stop, stop. But do you have a plan to shut down your road when SHTF happens? Now, Troy, again, that's OPSEC, so I can't give information that would benefit somebody that has bad intentions. But let's just say it wouldn't be a good idea. Like I said, any prepper. I mean, you think people are going to target Southern Prepper One? You think he's going to be a big target? People are going to go after him? I don't see that happening. So but traveling lighter, I prefer Old Granddad or Wild Turkey. Ooh, that's some rough one. I'll still drink Jack. I like Jack. Do I provide free egg rolls? Not me. No. I like egg rolls. I like egg rolls a lot. I actually love Chinese food. So, well, I know that down in New York City too, they have those guys, in the Muslim sections of the city, that they are, they have like it looks like a police car, and they're policing the other Muslims in the area, which I don't see how they get away with that either. To be honest with you, I did see the video of Kid Rock. Yes, and again, what realistically, I mean, and here's the thing, guys. I mean, realistically, what does that prove? What does that prove? Okay, if you're, and I've said this before, you basically with your wallet you make your decisions. So if you don't like what they did and who they're endorsing or who they're having endorsing their stuff, um, then don't buy the product. You know what I mean? To do the grand show and make a video and do all that type of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's sensationalism and fantastic, and but like I said, I never drank that crap anyway, so it don't affect me one way or the other. You know what I mean? So yeah, your money's your vote, right? And how much? Okay, so what did they? How much market cap have they lost? Okay, how much market cap have they lost because of their decision to go woke? Realistically, you have to know. You have to know who your target audience is, and people that drink Budweiser or Bud Light. It's a certain crowd of people, and you should be catering to that crowd of people. I think it was like 3 billion, not 3 million. I think it was 3 billion in market cap. So, but again, you know what I mean? What's that old saying right now? Go woke, go broke. You know, I mean, people. You can do whatever you want, folks. And I've said it before. I don't care what you do as long as you don't hurt anybody. Do whatever you want to do, but be ready to deal with the consequences of your decision, and that's what they're facing now. uh, you know Trucker said it's up to 5 billion in market cap now. I knew it was at 3 billion before. So 10.7% in net sales alone, plus stocks have taken a big hit. Yeah, I mean, it was, realistically, It was a poor decision. It was a poor decision. Who's there with you as a camera shot? No, that's Dave, guys. You've seen him in the videos. He's got the travel trailer. So Anheuser-Busch market cap is 131 billion as of right now. Okay. Yeah, again, you know what? It's just you know, as parents, as adults, we have decisions to make. How do we protect our children? What choices do we make? What do we want our children exposed to? And you have to make that decision based on that. You know what I mean? And that's my thing is that. You know what I mean? That's my thing. So if you don't want your children exposed to certain things, well, there's steps that you can take as a parent to make sure that they're not. And that's what we should be doing as parents. Like I said, you know what bothers me, and I'll tell you what bothers me. One of the things, uh, you know, no manners, no manners today with these kids. It's like, would you like this? Yeah, huh? What? You know, no manners, no please, no thank you, no yes or no sir, whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What could you repeat that, please? Right? Where's that? What huh? What is that? What is huh? So again, you know, we all have choices that we like. I said, you guys know, and I told you guys this. Now it's been 9 years now. I think it's 9. I gave up TVs when I moved to my property, up in New York to my homestead. I gave every TV I had away, and I haven't ever had a TV again. And I'll miss it. I really don't. I don't miss it at all. There was so much crap on the TVs, and the propaganda and in they don't call it, folks. They don't call it programming for no reason. Okay, they don't call it programming for no reason. So that's something you got to think about. And choices that you make should be based on that. So you know, um, and that's just yeah. My grandfather used to call it the idiot box. He said because if you watch it long enough, you turn into an idiot. So to me, I didn't want, I have my laptop. Anything I want to watch on here, I have Netflix, so I can watch movies without commercials, which is great. You know, and that's what I like. I don't want to see all those stupid commercials, and they are very dumbed down today. If you look at it, I mean, they think people are morons. So, but again, it's choices that we all make. All right, we got to do shout outs because it is that time. Yeah, she knows. Usually, oh, Dad's talking to the laptop. I'm gonna go lay down. All right, we are gonna do some shout outs. We're gonna start with Icky Can up in Canada. Good friend of mine. Please go up and show him some support. We have Angry Prepper down in New York City. That is Jason, another great guy. So definitely show him some support as well. There is Alaska Prepper, and that's Rudy up in Alaska. Real good guy. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself Reliance, two different channels, same guy, building up in Canada, doing his thing up there. Really fun to watch. Great builder. Really enjoy watching his channel. You have Demcad. I like Demcad as well. He got out of the area. He practiced what he preached. He said, "I'm getting out of this area," and he moved to a better area. You have Corporal's Corner. There's Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks, another really good guy. You have Bizarizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. Fun to watch him as well. Good storyline. Definitely could learn something from that. There is Marfugal News with Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Really good guys, very down to earth. I definitely ask you to support them as well. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar, and that is Cody. Cody's been around for a long time. A lot of great information on his channel, so I would highly encourage you to watch him. Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing, living off grid. Nice young couple. You have Bush Radical, Girl in the Woods. Husband and wife team, two different channels, but they split their time between Michigan and Alaska. So real good, a lot of good information with their channels as well. There is Green Greg's gardening, great channel for gardening, a lot of good information there. You have Southern Prepper One with his Boots on the Ground series, a lot of good information with him, and he has been amping up prepping big time. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have Joe with St. Bernard Acres. There is Doug and Stacy. They've been around a long time as well. Another great channel to get information from. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. A nice young couple down there just had a. I look tired tonight. I am tired tonight. So, yeah, I didn't get as much sleep as I had hoped. Uh, Nice young couple down in Panama. They just had a baby as well. You have the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. Another nice couple out there living in the desert showing you how it's done. There is Camping with Steve Wallace. Really good guy up in Canada doing stealth camping. Fun to watch him. You can pick up some tips that you might be able to use later on down the road. There is Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. I would ask you to support her as well. There is Boss of the Swamp. He has also been around for a long time. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Love Diamond. Very, very smart guy. I think we should be supporting him as well. Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. You have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres. Suspicious Observer. Another great channel. A lot of good stuff with the sun, the solar flares, and all that with his channel as well. There's Bear Independent. The Uneducated Economist. You have Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. She's got all the information, all the ins and outs of what's happening at Yellowstone. Okay, so definitely check her out as well. You have Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Love Ryan Hall. Great, great guy. Really gives back to the community in a huge way, and that's awesome. You have Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand. He gives you the information and he lets you decide what you want to do with it. He's not telling you which way you should think, he's just presenting the information. And I like that about him. You have Deep South Homestead. There is The Outsider. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's. You have The Prepared Mind. There is Pinball Preparedness. He is down in Tennessee. East Tennessee Preparedness. There is the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels out there. Some of you are putting other channels up that you like as well, and that's great. Like I said, again, I believe that we should be supporting each other. I think it's really important that we do so. And, we just keep doing what we can. And I think, that's why I like to do the shout outs. I think it's good to get information from different sources, and that's why I think it's important. So, and there's, like I said, there's a lot of good channels out there, and people have different perspective. They have a different viewpoint. We're all coming from a different upbringing or whatever. You know what I mean? So, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So, uh, TV these days is YouTube. Just pick your channel. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't know. I have. Okay, so when is the Harley coming down? When I make my next trip to New York, the Harley will be coming back down. Okay. Thanks for the shout out. Much appreciated. I'm humbly grateful. Oh, you're very welcome. Very, very welcome. Like I said, again, I do believe that we should be supporting each other. So I think it's a good thing. But yeah, when I go to New York the next time, I will. The game plan is to get my Harley back down here. Like today would have been a wonderful day to ride, and I would have been out on the bike if I had it here today. So, it's just a process, and we'll get it here and we'll get going. So, but yes, I'm also JJ just put this up as well. I'm also on Rumble now. I haven't made any exclusive content yet for Rumble, but I will be. Just been a little busy, but I definitely plan on doing some videos that I cannot do on YouTube that I will be doing on Rumble. So, and when I do them, I will let you guys know on here and say, hey, I did a video. If you want to go check it out, over there, and we'll go from there. So, West Virginia is gorgeous on a bike. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's just a lot of twisty, windy roads, which is a lot of fun on a bike. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it. Ed, I've learned a lot from you over the last couple of years. Thanks. Well, you're very welcome. And that's, again, my biggest thing for me is what are you planning to build yourself a when or what on your property? I'd like to do a 24 by 24, to be honest with you, and maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a 24 by 40, something like that. I don't know yet. That's going to be down the road. If someone is interested in joining your group in West Virginia, how would they start that process? Good question, Brian, and thank you for asking. The way the process starts, you shoot me an email at preppernurse1 at yahoo.com. You give me your phone number. I would call you, and then I would tell you what the process is from there. And then after I tell you what the process is, if you're still interested, then we go from there and what the expectations are. And that's, and I'm not going to go over all that on here, but if anybody is interested, that would be the way to do it. Shoot me an email, preppernurse1 at yahoo.com. Make sure you give me your phone number so I can call you, and then we will go from there. All right. So just, oh, somebody, Troy just subscribed to Prep Rebel. Okay, that's cool. My dad built a 24 by 24 for us to live in. Um, oh, that's cool. So nothing wrong with it. Well, up in New York, the lofted barn that we turned into our home was a 14 by 40, and it is that extra couple of feet instead of a 12 by 40 is huge. But if I could do a 24 by 40, I'd have more than enough room. More than enough room. And that's going to go where I park my truck, where you see where I park my truck, right on the other side of that. And then between where Hella's, her cage is over there when I have to leave her behind, if I'm doing something. Yeah, go for 24 by 40 if you can. Yeah, that would be, you know, had someone asked if the solar panels are EMP proof? No, nope, they are not. I don't know if you actually can be able to do that or not.
Okay. So,
I, I don't have a lot of faith in the whole EMP stuff, but that's just me. And that's why I've never endorsed that. So just putting it out there. Just putting it out. You can do what you want. Yep, I've been contacted by that company, but I just, I never got behind them, and it's just my own personal thing. And and no judgment on them. They can do what they want to do, and if people want to get that product, that's great. I'm not saying don't get it. I'm not going to. That's all. All right, we are legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? So we have Franklin County, Ohio. There's Philip from Melbourne, Australia. Good day, Philip. Troy in Pipestem, West Virginia, Dayton, Ohio with Rhonda, South Oklahoma with Richard, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Ford, still my favorite name, Nate in New Mexico, Troy in Troutman, North Carolina, Janet up in BC, Canada. We have East Central Illinois with Lana. We have Northern Virginia with Robert, North Georgia, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, Central Iowa with Robert, Idaho. We have Leesburg, Florida with Joan, Melbourne, Florida with Andrea. Bike Fest is here this weekend. Oh, that's cool, Joan. We have Western New York with Karen, Eastern North Carolina, Platico, Idaho. I'm not sure if I said that right. I probably said it wrong. Janita, I'm sorry. Uh, Charlotte County, Florida with Gloria, Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert, Waterloo, New York. We have Miami, Florida in the house. Nebraska with Kyle, Eastern Tennessee with Patty, Eastern Oregon with Susan, York, Pennsylvania. We have Iowa in the house with Brian, Northwest Arkansas with Tina, Strawbridge, Massachusetts with,
Sturbridge.
huh?
Sturbridge.
Sturbridge, okay. Central Florida with All American Prepper, Tucson, Arizona with Angela, Gloria in Charlotte County, Florida, Greenville, North Carolina with Jeff. Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa. Ulster Park, New York with Francine. We have Bay of Islands, Newfoundland in the house. So again, guys, we're all over the country, all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people, and if we ever worked together and got together, there's a lot of strength and power in that. There really is, because there's a lot of us out there that are getting ready, that are prepared. And again, I'm going to always continuously tell you, continue to get ready. We never know how much time we have, and we're going to do the best we can until that time comes. When that time comes, we cross that bridge when we get there. We got Burt in southern Minnesota. We have Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Baltimore, Maryland with Tex. So the UP of Michigan, right smack in the middle of up there. All right. We have Bath in the UK. So another from England, Linda, Northern Virginia, Northeast Georgia. Another UPer in Michigan with Teresa. So again, guys, like I said, we're all over the place. We're a huge, huge network of people. Um, you know, it's amazing how many there really are. And like I said, if we ever got organized, man, there's a lot of power in that. There really, really is a lot of power in that. I'm going to continue to encourage you to get with a group. If you can't get with a group, start a group. Okay? Start a group, because that long term is the only way that you're going to survive. You can't make it on your own, folks. As much as you think that you cannot stay up 24 hours a day. You cannot keep watch all the time if it's just you and your family. You can't get all the things done that you need to get done. If you have the man and woman power in a decent sized group, it's going to afford people an opportunity to rest, to get proper rest, to cover each other, to help each other out. Yes, will there be more consumption of food? Of course there would be. But if you are prepared ahead of time for such contingencies, it's going to put you in a better position to win. It's a game. Remember that. It really truly is. It's just a game. All right. So, anyway, remember, guys, that's important. We just got to remember it's a game, do what we can. When the other shoe drops, we cross that bridge when we get there. I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, who moderate for me. It does mean a lot to me. I want to thank all you guys for being here as well. I do appreciate the support. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy it, and it's if I can reach one person per stream that makes a difference for them, then that's important. And that's why I will continue to do this. So I do appreciate that. Got to remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, folks, we truly will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. Race, religion, political affiliation are the three biggest tools that are used to keep us fighting amongst each other, which is nonsense. There's bigger things going on that we need to be taken care of. They're trying to implement things to get total and complete control. Are we going to sit back and just go, yeah, that's okay? Yeah, we'll let them do it. You got to make a decision. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? So, but anyway, also remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. I was a little parched. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, it doesn't have to be about prepping, it doesn't have to be about living off grid. It's whatever dream that you have, whatever hope that you have. If you set realistic expectations for your goal, you can achieve that goal. And the only one that's going to stop you from reaching that goal is you. Stay away from negative people telling you what you can't accomplish. You set realistic goals that you can meet, and then you set about to making them happen. It's as simple as that, and that's all you can do. It's all you can do. Get things done, get it squared away, and you move on to the next thing. Simple, or at least it sounds simple, right? But again, just do the best you can, and keep a positive attitude. And with whatever time we have left, uh, get things squared away. Just do, like I said, just do the best you can. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off here for now. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Prepper Nurse One out for now.